Welcome to another edition of the Daily Deuce. I'm Gary Graves from just outside dry Louisville, Kentucky, and in rainy Maryland. My longtime friend, esteemed colleague, John Webster. John, how you doing? I don't know why you're wearing a hat indoors, but hey, do you, okay?
All
I
right,
like the background too, by the way. It's if nothing says sports like what you have set up there.
Gary, I appreciate the kind words. That's not what you said before we went on the air, though, but that's okay. That's another story for another day. But thank you very much. Uh, Hello, everyone. Glad to be here today. Getting ready to be a rainy day here in Maryland. And Gary, I have a hat on because I have a bump on my forehead that looks like a third eye. A mosquito bite. So that's why I have a hat on
Ooh,
today.
oh. Oh my God. What was it? What was it? The mosquito like the size of a 747 or something? If you
Oh
got to wear
man.
a hat?
Uh, he he got a hold of me, and he bit away.
Yeah. Were we sitting out on the deck?
I was, you know what? I've been being bitten so much by these mosquitoes over the last 2 weeks, Gary. I can't even tell you where I'm getting bit now.
Yeah. I got a
I was
suggestion, man. Get some peppermint oil or something that keeps them away. Or
Jr.
or
Jr. got me.
eucalyptus oil.
Jr. got Kim and I this thing called citronella can. Am I saying it right?
Yeah.
Citronella.
Oh yeah, yeah. Citronella
Citronella
candles.
candle. Yes. So I put that out on the porch, but I don't think that really it was nice. It worked for a while, but I guess I sat out there a little bit too long, and got bit over
Hmm.
and over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. Well, John, we got a jam-packed show today. Got a lot to talk about, especially with the Olympics hitting that home stretch. And I guess one place to start would probably be basketball. Men's and women's teams are, entering that semifinal phase where things get a lot tougher. Um, I feel like both teams, they've had their challenges, but they've weathered them and they're still on course for a gold medal. If you want, you can break down, some of the intricacies for both teams, but I just think again, the world is catching up with the men, but they're handling it. The women I think they've been sorting themselves out more, but they're winning as well. So I think again, I still think they're on course for winning gold medals and maintaining their dominance. Your take?
Well, I think on the men's side, uh, they've been playing very well. They still have to continue to play each game, not get too cocky, not get too overconfident. I think their next game is against Serbia, and they've already beaten Serbia in the earlier round. So they can't rest on that. They still have to come out and play. And I think one of the things that is really nice, it really helps your team when you can bring a Kevin Durant off the bench. I think that's really great. I think Kevin is playing really well. He's relaxed. I think he's having fun. There's not a lot of pressure or stuff going on around him. He's just what he loves to do. He's coming and playing ball and enjoying himself, and that's what he wants to do. So I'm happy for him. USA's been doing very well so far. Been getting good play, of course, out of LeBron James. Anthony Davis has done a good job. The last game, I think that was Brazil. Embiid had a pretty good game. Um, he was very effective
Hmm.
inside and also on defense as well. So good luck to him. The women on the women's side, they're just dominant, man. I think they're going to get the gold. I think the men are going to win the gold, but I think the women are going to just go through and just keep on knocking everybody down and dominate. They have a wonderful team. Asia Wilson's been playing really, really well. They're just really, really, really tough. And I don't see anyone that's going to beat the women. I think they're going to bring that gold home. I think the men are going to bring the gold home, but I think they're going to have some struggles. Even though yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, Canada was knocked out, and they expected Canada to be a really formidable foe against the U.S., but they've already gone home. So I think you got Serbia left, USA left. I think it's is Greece. Is Greece still in that right now, Gary?
Yeah, I think Greece is still in. So yeah, so the U.S. I think is not Brazil out, correct?
Right, right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, again, I think the main thing, the difference between the two is on the men's side, you're seeing a lot more world parity. Parity from the standpoint that that as we said before the Olympics, that the world is catching up.
Hmm.
Because a lot of those guys that they're facing from these other countries are guys that they face, in the NBA.
Hmm.
And what's that saying? Familiarity breeds contempt.
Yep.
And I think that's what you see. And again, I think because there are so many players at different ages and stages of their career, that it's not like, you're rolling out everybody necessarily at their primes at the same time.
Sure.
If you know what I'm saying, that
Yeah.
yes, LeBron is still getting it done at 40 years old. But there have also been times where, he looks like a 40-year-old player, same, I guess, with Kevin Durant and his injuries, that he's a 30-something player that you have to deal with. And then someone like Embiid, who is in his 20s, he might even be approaching 30, who has dealt with a bunch of injuries. So that's where you count on guys like Drew Holiday to to pick up the slack. uh Steph Curry to do what Steph Curry does well. And again, it might seem like mismatched parts in some stretches, but they're getting that kind of cohesion that they need when they need it to put teams away. It's the word I'm trying to say, the term I'm trying to use is that they're not toying with the opponents, but it's like they'll let them get close, make it look close, and then they find a way to seize control and close the deal. And that's all you really need at this point.
Gary, I don't know if you and I had talked about it, but you mentioned it just now how other countries are catching up with the US in basketball. And you go back to the first Dream Team, what was that, 92?
Yeah.
You had nine other players who were NBA players who played in that Olympics. That was against Jordan and Magic and Bird and that whole group.
Hmm.
This year, there are 61 NBA players from other countries who are playing against the United States. So,
Hmm.
yeah, they're catching up. There's a lot more nationalities and countries that have players in the NBA. So it's a testament to how far the game of basketball has come. And it's also a testament to the fact that the United States cannot just rest on their laurels and think that they are the be all end all for basketball. They still got to go out there, play it, and win the game.
Hmm. Hmm. Yep. So, John, obviously the most intriguing story with the Olympics this week was that men's 100-meter final with Alexandria, Virginia's own Noah Lyles winning probably the most incredible 100-meter race I think in history, not just Olympic history, but history. You're talking about, I think it was something like less than a second separating him from the last place guy who was expected to challenge him. And the way that he leaned in and won a photo finish is something that I really doubt we'll see anytime soon. It just shows you how close that field was. And again, I think even if he doesn't win the 200 today, that winning that gold medal in 100, the way that he did it, where he was, I think he was like last at one point, turned it on, and then somehow got like the lean of his life to win that gold medal when it looked like it was going to Jamaica or somewhere else.
It was quite a race, Gary. It was also an educational race for me. Tell you what,
Hmm.
that was a photo finish,
Hmm.
and I always believed a photo finish, you're trying to nose out your opponent. Get your head in there first. I learned it's not your head, it's your torso. That's
Yeah,
what you're trying to. I didn't know that,
me neither.
You know,
I thought it was a foot myself,
yeah,
you
and
know.
I won a lot of races because I have the biggest nose. So, but I
And
found out that really
I had the biggest head.
I found out, it's the torso. And Noah Lyles, to his credit, he leaned in the torso to get
Mhm.
that last reach to earn it. I mean, it was quite a race. Congratulations to him. We'll see what happens on this 200. He got second in the qualifying round, but
Mhm.
I don't put much credence into that because he was second in the qualifying round for the 100. So,
Mhm.
I think he'll be all right, and I'm rooting for him and expecting him to bring home a gold in the 200 as well.
Yeah, yeah, same here. And on the women's side, Gabby Thomas pretty much established her, her credentials. I'm going to say Shakari rather Richardson. Um, she didn't seem like herself in the semifinals and women's 100 final. I do think she got some redemption, even though she lost to the winner from St. Lucia, who was on a mission. But right now, I'm just thinking about Gabby Thomas and what the step that she took in winning that 200 the way that she did. Now, having said that, I know that that there were some issues on the 4x100 relay where it came down to Sha'Carri Richardson kind of bailing them out because of a bad exchange. So I think that will be, kind of. I expect the U.S. women to win a gold medal in that, and I think they'll straighten it out. Bad baton exchanges have been a big problem with the U.S. relay teams, men's and women's, for a long time. I'll never ever understand that, because that's something that I figure, it just works itself, that should be the most natural thing. But of course, you get to a competition like this, you get to a level like this, in a loud stadium, you might not hear, stick or something like that go. And I think that's one of the challenges. But I do think for Sha'Carri Richardson, who I was rooting for, I do think this is kind of a redemption for her if they win that gold medal, as I think they will.
Yeah, and I'm very happy for Sha'Carri Richardson. She's had some challenges over the last year, and I think she really worked hard to overcome them and done a great job to overcome some of the obstacles that have been placed in front of her. It was unfortunate she got second, but doggone it, she got second. She was a silver medalist. I'm still happy and proud of her.
Yeah.
I think she'll have another chance at it in another 4 years. I think she only
Hmm.
gets better and better and better. That's my
Yeah.
honest opinion. As far as the relay race, that baton, that's one of those things where you think it's a given, but it's not. You got to practice and practice and practice on that what do you call it? Exchange. You got to
Yeah.
practice. It's not a given. It's not, and it's a lot. You just said it. It's a lot of noise going on in the stadium. A lot of people are talking. A lot of people doing different things, and you got to be totally focused on that. And the United States have had some hiccups in that area over time, and hopefully they
Yeah.
will be able to do better with the upcoming relay races. So we'll see. Gabby
Yeah.
Gabby Thomas is unbelievable. The 200, she is a great job. Congratulations to her. think she goes to Harvard. Am I right about that? She goes to
Well,
Harvard.
yeah, I think she was Harvard educated. I
Yeah,
think Harvard and Texas educated.
yeah. And her
Yeah,
major was neurobiology,
yeah.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
so yeah,
That's
when I saw
that's
that,
tough.
and I
That's really
was,
strong. That's really strong.
yeah, yeah, I was like, whoa. And she's one of those people who sees the big picture. I think she saw the big picture even before she established herself in as a track superstar, so to speak.
Sure.
Um, and I think it was one interview I saw this week where she said she wasn't even sure how much she still liked track, and I think that's why she went about trying to create her fallback,
Mhm.
which isn't necessarily a fallback. Obviously, that's going to be where where she earns her income away from the track, and once the endorsements run out, which of course at her age, that she still has a lot of shelf life. Left with her and that. And one other athlete I forgot to mention was Sydney McLaughlin Levrone, who is has some importance here in Kentucky, having run a season for Kentucky before she turned pro and became a Olympic gold medalist herself in the last games. She's got a chance to to reinforce her credentials as as one of the best hurdlers and sprinters in these games, as as they start to wind down and we get down to the marquee races. And again, she's another one who I think we might be talking about her in terms of, I hate to use this term, but the GOAT, being a GOAT at some point. But at the very least, she will. I think she has a chance to solidify her credentials and status as one of the best athletes of her era.
Totally agree, man. She's tough. The GOAT, we'll see about that. It's a big thing saying GOAT. We'll wait and see, but she definitely a great athlete.
Yeah. And I don't know what more we can say about Simone Biles that hasn't already been said, but I'm especially happy for her winning the all-around gold, anchoring the team gold and really silencing her critics. Of course, they're always going to be there, but really for herself in coming back from the twisties, which her critics who really irk the heck out of me because they don't know a daggone thing what they're what they're talking about. Let's see them try to flip in the air and have orientation and know where they're going to land, especially 12, 15 feet in the air as she as she gets on occasion. I can't say anything more about how great she is and how she overcame that. And really, her biggest competition was herself and what's going on between the ears, not what's going on between those bars.
Well, tremendous athlete. She did a wonderful job. Congratulations to her. Other young lady was it Suni?
Suni Lee and Jordan Childs.
Yeah, yeah. Congratulations to
Yeah,
all three of them. They did a wonderful job. Uh,
yeah,
Simone Biles said, she's finished, but don't close the door on her yet. She may come back for the next Olympics. I think the
yeah.
next Olympics are going to be in the United States in Los Angeles, if I'm
In
not
Los
mistaken.
Angeles.
Yeah,
Hmm.
so she may try it one more time. All three of them are tremendous gymnasts. I really enjoyed watching it. The 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 level of difficulty and the routines that they were doing was simply amazing. So
Yeah,
uh,
indeed.
congratulations to them.
All right. Well, John, shifting here back to the United States and to a sport that's near and dear to both of us, college football, as practices commence or in full swing this week. I'm probably going to be heading to one either in Lexington, Kentucky, or Louisville. I'm not sure which one today. But shifting north, looking toward that school up north, as this Ohio State fan always likes to refer to Michigan, where their former coach, Jim Harbaugh, received a 4-year show cause penalty from the NCAA for impermissible benefits. Um, more than I could list here. Um, it seems kind of bizarre considering he's an NFL coach now at the San Diego Chargers and looks like he's going to be there for 4 years, given his track record, as you like to point out for your favorite coach or second favorite coach. And I just want to get your feelings about this whole penalty because it does seem appropriate in one sense, but also bizarre in the sense is that you're penalizing a guy who's not even at coaching at that level. And my beef is about these discussions about vacating wins and possibly vacating the national championship. And you know how I feel that no matter how egregious, the offense, short of paying referees or something like that, you don't take championships away, especially since the NCAA took one away from Louisville because of a sex scandal. And I just don't think you take it away. You just don't do it.
Well, the NCAA is always a interesting entity, organization, or whatever you want to call them.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
it's amazing that you come up with a 4-year penalty, show cause. Basically, for people that don't know, show cause penalty means that he cannot coach in the NCAA without the permission of the NCAA. The school has to ask permission before they can bring him on. That's basically what that means. So if you look at Coach Harbaugh's career, he has never lasted at a job less than 4 years. Go back to San Jose State, go to Stanford, go to the 49ers, go to Michigan. It's 4 to 7 to 8 years. So you're going to give him a show cause penalty for 4 years. Then after 4 years with the Chargers, say he wants to go and become the coach of the greatest college football program in the world, Notre Dame. So he goes to Notre Dame after 4 years, and it's what was the point of the penalty? I mean, basically he coached for 4 years in the NFL, and now he's going to go to Notre Dame and coach. Big deal. And what? The guy is gone. What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove? The person that I think is really going to get hurt with the being an innocent by well, I can't say innocent bystander because in some aspects of this they want to bring his name in it. But the new coach there, Shamar Moore, he's going to be no, not Shamar Moore. That's the actor. What is his name? Sharon Moore. Sharon Moore.
Jerome, boy,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes.
But I'm laughing because I probably would have made that same mistake, my man.
Yeah. So Sharon Moore, he's going to get hit by some of this flying shrapnel because he's tied to Harbaugh, and I really think, my personal opinion, they want to get whatever was connected to Harbaugh and what was done last year and years before. And that's the problem that I have with this. The NCAA is always a Johnny come lately organization. They get things after everything's over. They came up with something this week, Gary. I know you maybe you saw it, maybe you didn't. Back with the guy Stallion. Remember he was wearing the disguises on the sideline.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
NCAA just came up with a ruling this week that they have verified that that was Stallion on the sideline. Who in the world didn't know that was Stallion on the sideline? Who didn't know that already? You're
yeah,
verifying what everybody you really are going forward and saying you want to verify this now. Everybody already knew who that was. So again, here's the NCAA, Johnny come lately. The horses are already out the barn. Now you want to close the barn door. Well, too late. They've already run down the street. So I just find the NCAA to be what's the word you used earlier, Gary? Irrelevant.
yeah. Irrelevant. And since our pre-show conversation, I'm going to say comical because you know. with NIL, with all the cases that they're losing in court now with these athletes, and really schools in essence that realize problem excuse me, not problems, realize power that they have to really just kind of nullify whatever the NCAA intended to be way back in the day. Never really was, never really were, in terms of running the sport. Because when you're piling up billions of dollars, billions with a B, um off the backs of these athletes, these so-called amateur athletes, that once they started getting some power and realizing their worth, thanks to the courts, I might add, that that they were just exposed as really just they were just the bagmen, and they're no longer needed in my view. It really wouldn't surprise me if they were just a minor organization, especially when you've got these super conferences being formed now. And I just hate these little pity pat penalties. And for that matter, even when they slap a school with sanctions and such, that um for a while they had this independent review panel that was reviewing if schools appealed them. Well, they've gone away. But even that panel, I don't think they really upheld any penalties against these schools, any kind of sanctions. So yeah, it just points out, why does the NCAA even bother to make itself look relevant? And they're no longer relevant. They're just there.
Couldn't agree with you more, Gary. Could not agree with you more. What we need to do one day is have a longer segment so we can just break down how unfortunate the NCAA is to be in the
Yeah,
position they're in.
yeah. So while we have a few minutes, John, something else near and dear to your heart, your Baltimore Orioles, and where things stand heading into the dog days of August. How you feel, man?
As Dante says, it's going to come down probably to the end of the season. Um, they're there, they're hanging in there, they're playing hard, but they just lost another pitcher. Grayson Rodriguez just went on 15-day disabled list, and that's tentative. He has a strained lat, but after 15 days, they'll re-examine him. It could be longer. You don't know. Let me just rehash what you already know. The Orioles have now lost four starting pitchers. They have lost John Means. They have lost Kyle Brace. They have lost Tyler Wells, and now they have lost Grayson Rodriguez. That's four starting pitchers. They've also lost Caillou, Danny Caillou. He'll be back in September. Now, get away from the pitchers. They've also lost Jorge Mateo for the rest of the season, dislocated elbow. They've also lost Jordan Westbrook, who won't be back until the end of September with a fractured hand. Yesterday, uh, Jackson Webb, Jack Webb just went on the Jake Webb just went on the injured list for 15 days. That's a relief pitcher. Heston Kjerstad just went on the injured list, prorated back to when he got hit in his head in the Yankee series by the pitch. Honestly speaking, Gary, you played baseball. When you get hit in the head, he's in post-concussion protocols now, but you also have to keep in mind with how he got hit, it's going to cause something in his mind when he goes back up to bat. He may not be ready again this season because that's rough. That's real
Yeah,
rough.
yeah. A lot of people don't realize how tough that is too, with a concussion, especially the way he sustained it. And I mean, standing in there against 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
Yeah, that's rough, man. Um, they I give them all the credit in the world. They're playing, they're dogging it, and they're gritting it out. They're playing hard. They're not dogging it. Let me be clear. They're not dogging it. They're playing hard. They're gritting it out each and every game. They brought up Kobe Mayo, so he's playing now, but he's struggling at the plate right now. And that comes with time. He just comes from the minors. Jackson Holiday is really tearing the raw hide off of that ball right now. Hit another tater last night. He said taters in three straight games. So he's starting around in the shape. This pitching rotation right now, you got Corbin Burns, you got Zach Eflin, Trevor Rogers pitched last night and they won. And then you got Kramer and you got Suarez. I mean, that's you got basically like a coach always told me, you just play with what you got. That's all you can worry about. Play with the players that you have. That's all you can do. But it's going to be a rough stretch, Gary. From now until September 30th or October 1st, it's going to be rough. It's going to be very rough. They just got to go and play with what they got. That's all you can do.
Yeah. Well, in closing, all I'm gonna say is, John, the worst really could have happened. I think back in May or really in June, and they've weathered it. I mean, they're still tied for first. They're still in the hunt, and I think that says more about the Orioles' resilience and their ability to, just weather the storm and personify that next man up, mentality that teams always talk about. And I think again, you're getting into the dog days before you get into the September stretch, but they're really no better or worse off than they were when we've talked about this before the All-Star break, just after the All-Star break, and I think that's a good sign for them. I mean, they're just not fazed by anything that's going on. They're just finding ways to get it done.
I agree with you, Gary. You said it. You said a mouthful. And just got to play it out, man. Just got next man up. Just got to play it out.
Yep. So the next time we get together, folks, we're going to be talking about NFL training camps and really NFL preseason games because we're going to get into that part of the season. But there's plenty of Olympics to watch over the next few days. Please watch sports. Please watch us on YouTube, Facebook. Uh, we'll email it to you, and just watch sports to take your mind off the daily grind.
Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching this again. Watch some sports like Gary said. Watch the Olympics. Watch some football. Watch some baseball. Watch some basketball. I keep telling y'all, watch some cricket as well. Cricket is here. Watch some soccer. But above all else, just watch some sports. Come back and see
Even
us again.
synchronized swimming, even synchronized swimming. That
Absolutely.
was fun to watch last night, I have to admit.
But the main thing, watch some sports and come back and see us again real soon. Take care.